You have found the In the Verse podcast. Songwriting inspired by pop culture media. With your hosts, Marc Gunn and Mikey Mason.
Welcome to In the Verse, the podcast that makes music inspired by popular media. I am Marc Gunn, the creator of the Firefly Drinking Songs show and the host of the Irish Celtic Music Podcast.
And I'm Mikey Mason, creator of the Beer Powered Time Machine podcast and currently the MIKEYtalks podcast.
This is episode 4 of the new 10-episode season of In the Verse podcast.
And, we ran out of episodes of Firefly to talk about and to write about, so we're finding inspiration in other episodes of media, or episodes of other media, TV shows and comic books and cartoons and other movies, but not video games.
Still not video games.
We're still not video games. I can't convince Mark to play a video game.
Maybe one day I'll say, yeah, we could play, what was that? Sumer. Was that the name of the game? It was like,
Sumer?
Did you ever see that game?
I don't know.
You have 10 years to take over the land of Sumer.
Oh.
And whatever that time period is.
Play Mist or Riven or something that's just
yeah, I don't know. Nevertheless, as always, you can support us in this and other creative endeavors by supporting Mikey at patreon.com/Mikey Mason.
And by supporting Mark at patreon.com/Celtfather.
Upcoming news. So I have a lot of shows. My schedule for most of the year is actually filled up. It's quite amazing. I'm still in shock, but
bragging.
I'm just proud. I mean, I've been playing music for how many years? 21 years, ish when I started doing music in 99, 22 years, I guess. And being able to book, figuring out how to do it on a consistent, regular basis has been hellish the entire time until this past year or two. And all of a sudden it's starting to click. So, hey, I'm taking
congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You've worked hard. You deserve it. Tell us where you're going to be.
All right. May 20th, I'll be at Iron Shield Brewing in Lawrenceville, Georgia. May 28th, The Lost Druid in Avondale Estates, Georgia. In June, I'm going to Scotland for my Celtic Invasion of Scotland. I don't know if I'll have any shows at present aside from what I'm doing for my invaders, but I will be there. May 24th to 25th, Magic City Con in Birmingham, Alabama. July 1st through 4th, In Conjunction in Indianapolis. And August 4th through 7th, I will be at Gen Con. And tickets are now on sale. It looks like I got all the shows that I wanted and they're bigger rooms. Yay. And every Wednesdays, Coffee with the Celt Father returns in August, but it's going to be patron only. So I'll probably stop mentioning that, at this,
Don't stop mentioning it. Just let people know they need to be your patron, and this is one reason why.
Okay, there we go. I will do that instead. But it's going to be patron only, so if you want to enjoy those shows, come join me on Patreon.
Yeah, let them know it's coming, and let them know what they need to do to get there, because it's not expensive to be a patron. It's not expensive to support the artists you love.
You rock. Thank you, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying, monthly online shows. My next monthly online show is set for Friday, May 20th. You'll be at Iron Shield Brewing in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I'll be online, so anybody who can't be at your show should be at my show, because you can be at my show no matter where you're at.
Right.
May 20th, 8 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/Comedy Rock Geek. Absolutely free. Tips accepted. June 3rd to 5th, I'm at Con Carolinas in Charlotte, North Carolina. June 10th to 11th, Origins Game Fair, Columbus, Ohio. June 16th to 20th, Fear the Con 2022 in St. Louis, Missouri. June 24th to 26th, Anime Festival, Wichita, Kansas. July 1st, I'll be playing the Fickle Peach in Muncie, Indiana. July 15th to 17th, Phoenix Con in Appleton, Wisconsin. July 29th, the Fickle Peach again in Muncie, Indiana. And then August 4th to 7th, I will also be at Gen Con, and I also got all the shows I wanted, and I'm also in a lot of great rooms right next, especially our Firefly shows are back to back.
Are they? Good. Yeah, I moved mine earlier.
Yeah, they're back to back, same room.
Sweet. Oh, really?
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yours is right before mine. Mine's right, because I put in my request, hey, if it's possible, put me in the same room as Marc Gunn, because we do feature spots in each other's shows, and it's a similar theme, and it makes everything easy, and they did it. So yes.
Wow, fantastic. Yay. All right. Well, that's good news to hear. I didn't know that. So that's fantastic. Yes, definitely come join us. You can catch both of our shows and help us have a great evening that night. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I might even stay sober enough to remember it.
Right. No kidding, man. I feel you. I changed like my Saturday show. I moved to like, I think 2 PM, instead of doing the evening show. So my Saturday evening's going to be off, and I might get crazy and go gaming or something.
Or come to my show.
Well, yeah, I'll definitely be, there's that too. Yes, you got a point there. All right. So, news, there's been a lot going on for me. I'm sure that with you as well, but, I released a new video just, we're recording this on May 5th, and I released a new video a couple days ago, which was a Star Wars video. I don't know about you, Mikey. I was a big, Star Wars figure collector when I was a kid, right?
First movie I ever saw in a movie theater. And, every Christmas for my childhood, since they were available, we each got multiple Star Wars action figures from Kenner in our stockings. One year we got the Millennium Falcon. It was like and one year we got Twin Pod Cloud Cars and the Hoth battle set.
I got Death Star, but Hoth battle, I got that too. Yeah. I got the Death Star. I got the Hoth.
We wanted that so bad.
Oh, I wanted the Millennium Falcon. My best friend next door had that. That's what he had. I had some couple X-Wings. I had like the damaged X-Wing, the one that looks like it went through some fire. I think that was released like Return of the Jedi or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was totally awesome. But what I also did, the back of the things, you could save the proof of purchase to get free stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's how you got the first Boba Fett action figure, was sending off the proof. And they had the actual initial one they discontinued for choking hazard.
Right.
And they had to do one with a rocket that was attached.
Yeah. Well, I saved all those backs. Every single one of them that I bought. I think I might have didn't save the very, very first one. So I think I might have like the second Luke Skywalker one instead of the first one. And so I did a video, which is basically, some of my music in the background while I'm basically showing all of these things, including the repeats and such. And, it's fun. And the little story about how I went and saved all those things. So yeah, it's neat. You can find that online. I have several new singles coming up. There's a Hobbit polka that I just released with my friend Sam Gilogly. That's going to be coming out. Eventually I'm doing an album called Dancing with Hobbits. It's all instrumental dance, hobbity dance music that we're putting out. I'm hoping to have it in time for ALEP, which is a long expected party, the Hobbit gathering I do every year in Kentucky. And, we're trying to finish that album in time for that. We'll see how that goes. Right now, I think we have like 7 tracks completed. So it's looking good. We've been slowly releasing them over the past couple of years. But I'm releasing Favor of a Dance as a single, which is the track I recorded for this podcast.
Yep.
That's coming out in June.
That was for the Shindig episode, right?
Yes, Shindig. Yep. Yeah. And so I got Vicky Swan and Johnny Dyer from England. They're recorded on the song, as well as Jamie Hauser, who does the background vocals, and it's just all awesome. And I'm hoping to finish a Kickstarter come Gen Con. The Kickstarter is for an album that I'm going to call, guess what? Come Adventure with Me, which is the track I did 2 episodes back. So that, as well as Blink, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna have Redemption. I think Redemption might be on there as well. There's a couple others that I've done. So it's hopefully a little bit gaming. Hopefully, if this song comes out any good, it'll end up there on that too. I mean, it won't be released until next year, but the Kickstarter will be going come August. What else? I don't know if you knew this, but you can add song lyrics to your Spotify pages, so that when people are listening to your music, and you can read the song lyrics along with it.
Oh, wow.
So I found out how to do that, and
That's a project. I got 13 albums. I
know. Well, I've done the first one, which was the first one, Selcouth. That one is all done. Next, I'm about to do it As Long As I'm Flying. So that's probably in a coming week or so. We'll see. And then the last thing I want to mention is the new album pins, which I don't know if I've talked to you about this at all, but years ago. I've been trying to think of, what to do about people who aren't buying CDs, right? And
you have CDs.
Well, yes. And how to use that, keep using that because people love that and it sticks in your brain like, a nail through your head. I finally printed up, 3 album pins, which I'm calling them. And they're basically lapel pins. But with album-related artwork. So you can basically wear your album on your sleeve. And, of course, you get a digital download, which
nice.
And I've printed up some postcards that I can pin them to. And it has the track listing and a QR code to go to the website so you can, to the Bandcamp so that they can check out the music, maybe just buy it there if they want, or they can buy the album pin and again, wear the album on your sleeve. So I've had so many people say, I don't know which album I have. Well, now they can just wear their album on their sleeve. So
I wore the wrong shirt. I don't know which albums I have.
Right. Damn it. But actually I'm going to put together some lanyards so you can pin them to lanyards as well.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So that's coming in the future. But the reason I bring it up is because I started putting, I think Sherwood in April was the first place I started trying to sell them. Oh no, Mid-South Con, and they sold really well. Those combined with the CDs, all of a sudden my income is feeling like it's coming back. I'm like, oh, could this fix the income problem that I've experienced in the past few years? We'll see.
Once everybody's got all your merch, what to do next? Make more merch.
Well, it's not even just about that though. I mean, there's so many, yes, and some people who you have the CD might actually want the pin too, but sure. I'm mostly trying to appeal to the people who don't have albums but want to support your music and want something, to have. And,
yeah.
And there's so many of those people that are like, oh, I don't buy CD. Oh, you have that. Well, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been really exciting. What about you, man? What have you been up to?
My patrons are still getting a new song every Monday, 52 songs a year for as little as $1 a month.
Still an amazing deal.
You're perfectly welcome to pledge more if you can afford it and you want to. And they get the MIKEYtalks podcasts, which have been on a bit of a hiatus, but are coming back. But I'm sitting on a dearth of material, just an absolute dearth of material, and trying not to put out album after album after album after album, trying to put them out at a measured, reasonable pace.
Yeah.
So that I can put one out and play some songs from it at a command. Over the pandemic, I put 2 or 3 albums out when I wasn't going to conventions. So people are already 2 or 3 albums back, and I've been writing this dark fairy tale pagan inspired album a little at a time, writing songs for it, and doing a lot of other stuff that I just that really moves me, but doesn't necessarily fit in the Mikey brand or whatever. But I'm learning that the Mikey brand is whatever Mikey wants to do. So I don't know. I'm not going to cry too much about it.
Yeah.
Cause I live a great and charmed life. So, but yeah, patreon.com/Mikey Mason. You get a new song every week, 52 songs a year for $1 a month. That's, $12 a year for 52 songs. You can't beat that deal at all.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Shall we start talking about the, Dungeons and Dragons, the Dragon's Graveyard?
Yeah, let's do it. All right.
Well, wait 1 second. A few words from Dungeon Master. Fear not, ranger, barbarian, magician, thief, cavalier, and acrobat. I am Dungeon Master, your guide in the realm of Dungeons and Dragons. It is an exciting place of wonder and beauty and grave danger. You are about to embark upon a grand adventure, and I am here to show you the way. To succeed in your quest, you will need to be brave, smart, and just a little bit lucky. So keep your magic items close and your wits sharp. Good luck, adventurers. We shall meet again. That's from the animated series handbook. I got the special edition box set of the TV show.
I actually played through that adventure at
Did
a
you?
convention once. Yeah.
Oh my! I'm dancing right now. No one can see me, but my feet are just like, "Wah!" That's awesome.
So, for those of you who may not know, back in the 1980s, TSR, the company who produced Dungeons and Dragons at that time, had a Saturday morning cartoon to create synergy to sell more Dungeons and Dragons stuff. And the premise of the cartoon was that 6 kids, Hank, Bobby, Eric, Presto, Diana, and Sheila, got sucked through an amusement park ride into the world of realm of Dungeons and Dragons, and they're trying, the big major arc is they're trying to get home, and Bobby adopts a unicorn named Uni, who goes all the time. And so every episode is basically one step further on their quest to get home. The overarching goal, even though each episode may have a sub-goal or whatever, a sub-arc or a subplot or an episodic plot, the real aim is for them to get home. And spoiler, if they get home, the series ends, so...
We don't really want that to happen.
Right. It ran for 3 seasons, 27 episodes total, and if you want to look, there is an episode out there that you can that somebody did a fan animatic of, and they got some voice actors to do, and it's the last episode.
The final episode that was not released.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So you can find that on YouTube.
Okay, I'm going to go look that up after this. But the other point that we need to, that's very important to this mess, is that Dungeon Master gave each of these kids a magical item.
Yes.
So they are all armed and dangerous.
Yeah, Bobby has a magic club that wreaks havoc when he slams it, and Presto has a magic hat he can try and cast spells out of.
Hat of many spells.
Yeah.
Thunder Club. Sheila has the cloak of invisibility.
Yeah, and Eric has a magic shield that does force fields. Sheila has a staff that becomes a pole vault. Diana has the pole she can vault with and uses a staff to attack. Hank has a bow.
The energy bow. That
doesn't have a string. He just pulls it back and energy bolts fly from it. Yeah. That's everybody, right?
Yeah.
And Uni has a... but...
Exactly.
Sorry. I will try and spell.
And then, of course, we have Venger, the force of evil, who's trying to steal. He wants their weapons, the most important thing, so he can take over the realm. And
not to ruin the series for you, but Venger is actually voiced by the same guy who does Optimus Prime.
Oh yeah. That's right. Yes.
Just and then, wants to hear Venger look at him and go, Autobots, roll out.
And then we have Tiamat, who is a 5-headed dragon.
Yes.
And who is the only creature who can really defeat Venger or can beat Venger.
Who scares Venger at all.
Scares Venger. There you go.
Yeah. So you've got all these, and then of course they try and showcase different monsters from the monster manual every episode, and some of the characters who are action figures like Strongheart the Paladin and Warduke. I think Zarak is in there for an episode.
Did you watch all the episodes? Rewatch all the episodes?
I did not rewatch all the episodes.
I'm just curious because I didn't remember those.
Look, nostalgia goggles can't make everything good again.
This is so true.
They can get you to watch it, but they can't make it good.
Yeah.
And
sometimes it's better to let it lie.
Yes. Sometimes your memory of the thing is much better than trying to relive the thing.
I gotta say though, for this episode, I felt like it lived up to what I remember.
This is a surprisingly mature episode.
Yeah.
It doesn't rely on a whole lot of gimmicks. So the episode starts with them fighting a frost giant.
Yes.
And they beat the frost giant, and a portal opens to home. They can see home through the portal, and Venger causes a collapse of the tunnel leading to the portal because he's like, they stopped my frost giant, and so the kids manage to escape Venger, but they've had enough. And Hank's like, we've got to, I think he says something like, we've got to find a way to stop Venger once and for all, which is basically cartoon kid speak for, we're going to ice that dude. Right. I want him to bleed, No
one can stop Venger, not even Dungeon Master.
Right. What about Tiamat? So they get this crazy idea that, they keep trying to go home. They're not getting home. Venger keeps stopping them from going home. So they want Dungeon Master to help them stop Venger, and Dungeon Master, of course, won't do it.
Yep.
So they're like, well, you gotta, we're gonna do this. And he goes, well, then you'll have to go to the dragon's graveyard. We need to you're gonna help us get to Tiamat. We're gonna get her to stop Venger. And they keep using the word stop Venger, and I think they mean kill Venger.
That's exactly what they mean.
I mean, they're not planning to have a sternly worded letter to Venger. All right?
They tried that already. No,
they don't want Tiamat to sit down and talk to Venger politely and say, "Look, could you stop?" Right. No, they're like, but they don't use, because it's a Saturday morning cartoon in the early '80s. They don't actually use the word kill. Yeah. But, so Dungeon Master tells them that their weapons actually came from the dragon's graveyard, which is beyond space and time or whatever. It's where Tiamat lives, in the dragon's graveyard, and, that the weapons are their keys to get there. And then Venger attacks them again, and they end up in some weird way or another running from him, ending up in a tunnel, and using their weapons to create a portal to the dragon's graveyard.
Yeah.
Once they get there, they basically have to try and run and hide from Tiamat.
Right.
Who's going to kill them until Venger tracks them there. And then then they're going to let Tiamat kill Venger until Hank decides, no, we've got to stop this. We can't let Tiamat kill Venger. We can't, I'm not doing this. Venger's like, why did you save me? And Hank's, I didn't do it for you. I did it for me. And that's pretty poignant.
Yeah.
And it's very mature. They're like, he decided he wasn't going to let vengeance consume him.
Right.
And then they leave, and as they leave to go back looking for another way home, you see Dungeon Master coming over to the defeated Venger and calling him son. Bum, bum, bum.
Dun, dun, dun. I thought that was an interesting little twist.
Yeah. So there we go. That's where we're at. That's where we start. That is probably more thought than they actually put into the 22-minute episode right. When they wrote it.
Yeah.
I'm being facetious, of course, but
right.
So what struck you about this episode? I know, so you recommended this episode, and of course, I was all on board and still am all on board. Doing a Dungeons and Dragons cartoon is a big influence in my childhood. We did the Hobbit, this cartoon, the game, all big influences right. on my childhood. So what strikes you as inspiring or thematic or something compelling about the episode? Where do we because obviously there are a couple themes. There's getting home, and then there is, quote, stopping, end quote, Venger.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it was really interesting, rewatching this, and that's been a while since I've seen it. But I remember loving the episode when I was a kid. It's like the one episode that I think that stands out the most, aside from their actual story of just coming there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely, and I feel like looking at it now, I feel like the reason, that I remembered it probably was Bobby. at the very beginning of the episode, Uni, Venger's attacking them, and Uni gets hurt. And Bobby,
sorry.
And, Bobby, actually, even before that, they have a little, lead in, foreshadowing when he says, if something happened to you, and then if something happens to him, of course,
right.
3 minutes later.
The frost giant's going to kill Uni.
Right. Exactly. And this time it's Venger who's able to attack and throws up one of his lightning bolts or whatever, and Uni gets knocked down and he's badly injured, and they hide in the cave, where they create the portal to the dragon's graveyard. But, Bobby's saying, there was something about the way that scene where he's holding Uni, and he's like, and he's so hurt, and he's so, it's very emotional, an emotional moment that his best friend, this Uni the Unicorn is near death's door. And he says, you better not, what does he say? Don't worry about me, worry about Venger,
Yeah.
And of course that's repeated again later when Hank says to him in the dragon's graveyard, I'm getting worried about you, Bobby, no one should hate anyone this much. And he says again, don't worry about me. Like I said earlier, don't worry about me, worry about Venger. And I don't know. So something about that, I don't know what, but it resonated with me. That little moment of hate. What was this? This is 1984. So I was 12? What grade is that? That's, I'm wondering, what grade is 12th grade is that like 6th grade?
I was 10 in 6th grade, but I started school early.
Okay.
So
I'm trying to, let me double check.
You're probably 7th, 8th grade. You're probably 7th.
7th grade, maybe.
6th, 7th grade, somewhere around there.
Probably 7th.
Depending on where you started.
It would have at least been 7th grade, because I started playing D&D in 6th grade. So yeah. Oh wait, no, this is 7th or 8th, somewhere in there. In any case, I'm thinking about that particularly because I do remember, like, I think there's something, and I wonder if this has anything to do with it. I'm thinking about my inside, what was affecting me at the time. In the 7th grade, I had a bully who was harassing me the entire year. And, so there might have been a little bit of that anger and hurtness that, I felt. I kind of wonder, looking back on it now. But definitely that was one of the things that stood out to me in this. Not saying that's something I'm thinking about writing about, but it's there's a couple of the things that I indicated here, which when they're talking about how to defeat Venger, and they're asking Dungeon Master not to have riddles when he's saying stuff, and he says, just ask her, which I thought was interesting and a something different for Dungeon Master, and kind of poignant too. Sometimes you just have to ask someone.
Oh yeah.
What else? I did notice in the dragon's graveyard, and this stood out to me. There's a whole bunch of these dragon undead or dead dragon skeletons, but there's also some humanoid dragon skeletons,
like lizard men, and
right?
Stuff. Yeah.
And sometime I don't remember when it was, but I remember creating my own monster, which was the Dracoids or Draconians. I don't remember what they called them now, but I think it was based on that idea of what I saw in the dragon's graveyard. So that was something else that stuck out in my head. What else did we have? Definitely the hate thing just stood out a lot. I think that's most of what I got out of this. It was interesting watching this episode and thinking about it from even before I started, I was like, is there going to be anything? Are these episodes so shallow that there's nothing to really write about? Or can we find a story? And, that's going to definitely be an interesting challenge to find a story.
It is. And this is a 22 minute episode ish. I think it might even be 18 minutes. I forgot to take a note of how long it was, but it had to be written to pass muster for kids. And at the time, we're in the middle of the Satanic Panic. So for some historical perspective, a lot of people think that Dungeons and Dragons is Satanism. So they can't say we got to kill Venger. I mean, Eric, I wrote this down. Eric said, this is all Venger's fault. We ought to do something about that guy.
Yeah.
What do you vote him out? I don't know. And then, and Hank said the only chance we have of getting out of this world is if we take care of Venger once and for all. Yeah. So they have all these euphemisms, and they tell I thought it was interesting. They tell Dungeon Master to stop speaking in riddles, but they're not saying what they actually mean either.
Yeah, true.
Right? And they're couching their phrases because of censors.
Yes.
Right. So, I find it an interesting line to walk. The biggest part, one of the things that really, really gets to me is, Bobby wanting to go home.
Yes. Yes.
When he said, and I wrote this down, I hate this. I don't want to be in this world anymore. I want mom and dad and our house and my friends. And I don't think this cartoon ever got any more real than that moment.
Yes, I agree. That's another one that stood out in my mind. Yeah. And
then the other, kind of real moment is, normally normally their attack, when they're in combat, it always goes the same way that Hank fires a energy bolt and says, scatter, and everybody scatters. But there they're going in, they're heading into this dragon's graveyard, and Presto says, this is going to be dangerous. Better keep our eyes open, right? Yeah. Which is followed by a joke, because immediately he almost trips over Dungeon Master.
Yeah.
But they've just decided, and then Dungeon Master appears, but that they've decided that they're going to do this. And of course, this is going to be dangerous. Better keep our eyes open. And it's kind of a punchline line, but it's also, kind of this, we're about to do something, chaotic, stupid,
Yeah.
But it's honestly, it's a very true to what kind of happens in Dungeons and Dragons games, in which case you form a plan, which probably wasn't created by somebody with actual tactical experience, more than likely a teenager, and then you enact that plan, and things go wrong, and you react to it.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah, there's a lot of those things that stood out for me with the, so they enter the first off, the things that just don't feel real, things like having a Dungeons and Dragons ride at an amusement park.
Right.
During the middle of that, satanic craze in the 80s.
But I'll tell you what, if you're going to accept that kids can be sucked into the world of Dungeons and Dragons, then you've got to be able to accept that there is a Dungeons and Dragons ride at an amusement park.
Well, true enough. But I bring it up because there's those things, those characteristics where, that we're not, when we go when I used to play D&D, you go out and do the adventure. You don't hedge in him and whatever, while when there's danger that's actually, you're going to kill Venger, I mean,
yes.
you're going to, I mean, that's the goal here, is to kill him. There's no, to some degree, there's no reality of, emotional reality attached to this,
Sure.
Whereas in the show, you have that actual emotional reality where people are, is this something we should do? Should we actually kill this person who's keeping us from our goal, or not? I mean,
and it's a short cartoon, so they can't have a long drawn out moral, debate about it.
Right.
They can't debate the morality and ethics of doing it, so they end up with a quick persuasion, and they decide to do it, and Dungeon Master shows up and tries to send them on a quest, and Hank says, like, stuff it, dude. We want to know 2 things. Was it, how do we find Tiamat? And then how would he use her to beat Venger once and for all? Right? And then those are the words, I wrote that down. How do we find Tiamat? And how do we use her to beat Venger once and for all?
Yeah.
And honestly, that really strikes true to running a game of Dungeons and Dragons also, because you're like, all right, players, this is the adventure I have. Stuff it, Dungeon Master. We want to know 2 things. Where do we find this big dragon that's definitely going to kill us? And how do we use her to kill this other guy who's definitely going to kill us?
Right. Exactly. That's so true. Which is, I think that's what the thing that I thought was neat about it. I did find also that it was watching the episode too. It reminded me a lot of many other episodes of other shows in the 80s that did a similar sort of thing where you know, do I kill you, or do I have some sort of inner strength and realize that that's not who I am. I thought that was an intriguing thing as well.
Yeah. Well, and it boils down to this. Venger wants the kids' weapons. That's an overlying theme of the show as well. The weapons that Dungeon Master gave them that came from the dragon's graveyard. They are apparently so powerful when their powers are combined, Venger could use them to defeat Tiamat and take over the realm.
Did you also think about the fact that there's all these other super powerful magical weapons in the Dragon's
There are all these super powerful magical weapons.
Can you just get some of those?
A trident that shoots lightning and stuff. What else was there?
There's the healing net.
Yes.
There was a magic wand that apparently it turned into a lasso. I mean a whip.
Yes. Oh man. So, but there are all these weapons and there's one of the things that I got out of the episode when I was thinking about it is that throughout the series, these objects are sought by Venger because it's the power that he thinks it's the power that makes him who he is. And the kids continually, and again in this episode, show that it isn't the power that you have, it's what you do with it.
Right.
And so, and this particular episode is very on point for that. It's, even when you start out guided by anger, guided by vengeance, it could only lead to ruin. And then, and that's something that Dungeon Master says, do not let your anger control you. The course you're taking can only lead to ruin. Right.
Yeah.
And it makes you think as you're reflecting back when he goes to Venger. I mean, he cares about these kids. He seems to care about these kids.
Right.
And Venger's his son, who already apparently took this course and ended up down the road to ruin. So
yeah, there could be a good episode there, to figure out how that led there and how he's trying to guide these kids. Because at the very end of this episode too, he says, Hank says, so what happens now? And DM says, that's up to you. But know this, you've taken your first step home, which is an intriguing question there too.
Yeah. Once they realize that their actions define them more than these weapons or more than any power, and that they're more important than taking out Venger, whatever that means. So there we go. Yeah. All in all, you have to bear in mind that this is a 1983-84 Saturday morning cartoon.
Yep.
And it's not any more depth than you can get out of 22 minutes of animation from Japan is animation that was farmed out to the lowest bidder. And writers who are paid.
I also liked watching Dungeon Master talk and after he's finished speaking one phrase, his mouth still moves.
Yeah. So, I mean, They were like, no, we need to rewrite that line. Well, we can't pay for the animation again. That's fine.
That's good. How much does that cost? No, thanks. Well, it's fine. Just the way it is.
He's still moving his mouth. It's fine. But so I don't know what are you feeling about inspiration on this?
I'm this is another one where I'm not entirely sure where I'm going with it. There's definitely some emotional aspect that I've been wanting to talk to you about it too, so that I could explore some of these thoughts a little bit more, because I definitely realized that this one had more depth than I expected.
Yeah.
And again, there's an emotional connection that I feel like I could touch on there. On the flip side of that is it's about Dungeons and Dragons, and I feel like it should just be much more fun to just have a funny song, which, you know, I definitely could use in my repertoire.
I feel the same way. This could go either way. I think if I were going to write a funny song about Dungeons and Dragons, the cartoon, it might not be about this episode.
Right. Yeah.
It might be about the series in general. Yeah. However, if I were going to write one about this episode, it would probably be dark and sardonic and about we don't want any riddles from you. We're going to take out Venger. Take him out. How are you gonna buy him flowers? You gonna have a nice meal? See a double feature? How are you gonna take out Venger? Are you gonna go shopping for puppies? Taking him out for what? Take him out to a ball game? Take out Venger? I mean, seriously, what are you going to do? Take him out. Say what you mean, Hank. I have a big energy bow. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to fry him with energy from my energy bow. I mean...
You're killing me, man.
Bobby crushes kneecaps. Venger's not getting away this time. Uni, put that horn to use. You know, I'm just...
You're seriously trying to kill me, man.
So,
I'm crying here, man.
But... so I might write the funny song. I don't know. I think it works better as a bit.
I think you're right. I think as a bit, you're just, like I said, you're killing me, man.
I think this is...
Oh, man.
I mean, I will probably write a more serious song. I don't want to get caught up too much in schmaltz, you know?
Exactly.
But it does have that emotional touchstone. So, I don't know.
Yeah. I totally agree. I don't think I'd be nearly as funny as you are too. So, I'll see what I'm going to come up with. But, there's definitely a few different ways. Again, much more than I expected. After the first watching, I was like, it might be a good comedy song and such, but there's still something that touched me in there when I rewatched it. And then I watched it again and I was like, there's something much deeper here that could be a deeper message and that could be shared. So I don't know.
Yeah.
All
right. Yeah. Honestly, if we write something funny about it, it's going to be something quirky about the weapons that were left in the dragon's graveyard, like the tornado mace or something. You know.
Yeah. That'd be a good one too. Yeah. Tornado mace. Yeah. I forgot about that.
So, in all likelihood, it's probably not going to be a super funny song. It'll probably be more along the lines of a serious song, but I don't know about how hardcore serious. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm interested in getting into the to the bones of it, to the dragon's graveyard.
Oh,
and honestly,
that's the other thing I liked about the show is they have lots of little puns.
Oh yeah, and the visual puns.
Yeah,
I mean all of them, and it's all over. So, yeah. All right. I think that we need to break, write our stuff, and come back and see what we come up with.
I feel trapped with the roof crashing down, frozen in ice, no way to run now. I swing my club, the impact breaks ground, anger and frustration. I step into a dragon's graveyard. Bones of centuries piled on my heart. Dragon wings push me through the dark. Is my time running out? Sister, sister, I'm tired of this place. It's been a while since a smile lit my face. Path was clear, now it's gone with no trace. I'm still looking for home. I'm with family, we may not belong. Our magic together is all kinds of strong. All broke up, I've had friends all along to love and defend. Sister, sister, I'm tired of this place. It's been a while since a smile lit my face. Path was clear, now it's gone with no trace. I'm still looking for home. My dragons, my anger, my pain. My power comes from the love I retain. First step forward is the hardest to gain. Finally on my way home. Sister, sister, I'm tired of this place. It's been a while since a smile lit my face. Path was clear, now it's gone with no trace. I'm still looking for home. Sister, sister, I'm tired of this place. It's been a while since a smile lit my face. Path was clear, now it's gone with no trace. I'm still looking for home. Sister, sister, I'm tired of this place. It's been a while since a smile lit my face. Path was clear, now it's gone with no trace. I'm still looking for home.
sit by and watch you give it all away to orphans that you pluck from home to scramble for your praise. I will have what's mine. Yes, I will not abide to be denied my birthright, and I will not sit by and watch you give it all away to orphans that you plucked from home to scrabble for your praise. I will have what's mine, for they will pay.
Mark and I make our living as full-time musicians. We love creating this podcast and sharing our music for you, but it would be near impossible to release as much great music or as many podcasts if it wasn't for the generosity of people just like you.
So if you enjoyed this show, please support what you love. Your generosity pays for the production and promotion of our music and this podcast.
I want to say thank you so very much to the amazing Patreon patrons who help keep the music being made, especially Aura M, Reverend Chris Adata Smith, Dark Unicorn, Amy Stewart, Michael Candlewall, Josh Logan, Amy Morris, Les Howard, Brian Jackie, John Haidt, John R. Woolard, Scott Mealy, Scott and Melanie Weinhusen, Jeremy D. Jackson, and Jennifer Lewis.
I am extremely grateful to everyone who supports my Gunrunners Club on Patreon as well. You are all so generous and with your support, and thanks to my newest patrons, Ivan McCallop, Don Rice, and Antonia Pickard. I also want to thank each of these top-tiered incredible patrons, Nott Higgins, CJ Taylor, Sarah Crockett, Bill Mandeville, William McCassick, Brian Morin, Carol Burrill, Kurt Goodyear, Miranda Nelson, Jan Sinkush, Luke Miller, Josh Brown, James Odell, Eric Ray, Les Howard, Scott and Melanie Weinhusen, and Tim M. O'Brien. Thank you so much for all your support.
So what's next? What are we doing next?
Next time, I think we're going back to Firefly, man. Yes, it's time to break away from TV shows.
They did season 2? You're telling me they did season 2?
Sort of, but it's all in graphic novel format.
Oh, I gotta read?
Yeah, man, sorry.
And we can't play a video game? What's the deal, man?
Yeah, and in fact, if you, any of you out there want to find The Shepherd's Tale, which is the next episode of, that we're going to talk about, you might better get out there and order your copy on Amazon or find it somewhere, because, it's not going to be the easiest to find, but we're going to share the story of Shepherd book from Firefly, because that's what this episode's all about. So I'm really excited about this. There's a great bit of storytelling in this one.
Yeah. I've heard that it's very good. I know it was written by Joss Whedon's,
yes.
At least in large part by Joss Whedon's brother Zach, with approval by Joss Whedon, which in terms of Firefly, that means a lot. I know Joss has lost a lot of cachet because of some bad behavior, and I'm not even going to get into that. But that doesn't mean we don't like Firefly.
Yes, that's for sure. Thank you so much for listening. You can download many of our songs when you sign up on our Patreon pages. Find out more about Marc Gunn and Mikey Mason, how to support our music on Patreon.
We'd love your comments, your suggestions, songs, or lyrics, or links to videos to share in the next show. Use the hashtag #InTheVerse. You can post them on the Blue Sun Tour Facebook page, or email me at mikey@mikeymason.com.
In the Verse was produced by Marc Gunn and Mikey Mason. Sign up on our website and find out more about the Blue Sun Tour when it happens at fireflydrinkingsongs.com.